Crafting compelling characters. Episode 1 of the Romance Writing Masterclass series. Welcome to the Writer's Haven, where stories begin. Today we're diving into the first episode of our Romance Writing Masterclass series. Our focus today is on crafting compelling characters. Whether you're new to writing or looking to deepen your character development skills, this episode is for you. So let's get started. First, let's talk about backstory. Your characters didn't just pop into existence. They have histories that shape who they are and how they behave. A well-developed backstory provides the foundation for your character's motivations and actions. Spend some time thinking about where your characters come from, what experiences they've had, and how those experiences influence their current actions and decisions. For instance, does your character have a traumatic past that makes them wary of new relationships? Or perhaps a happy childhood that makes them optimistic? Consider creating a character profile. Write down details like their childhood experiences, education, relationships, and significant life events. For example, was your character's first love a summer romance that ended in heartbreak? Did they grow up in a bustling city or a quiet rural town? These details will inform their motivations and reactions throughout your story. Next, let's talk about personality. A well-rounded character has a mix of strengths and weaknesses, virtues and flaws. Think about what drives their characters, what their fears are, and what they aspire to achieve. This will add depth and make them relatable. For instance, your protagonist might be fiercely independent but have a fear of vulnerability. How does this fear influence their actions and interactions? A helpful tool is the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. These personality frameworks can give you a solid foundation to build on, providing insights into how your character might think, feel, and act. For instance, an INFJ might be introspective and caring, while an ENTJ might be assertive and strategic. Using MBTI, you can create detailed character profiles. For example, if your protagonist is an INFP, they might be deeply idealistic, empathetic, and passionate about their beliefs, but also struggle with practicality and decision-making. Another option is the Enneagram. The Enneagram is a model of 9 personality types, each with its own set of core motivations, fears, and desires. For example, the Type 1 character, known as the perfectionist, strives for integrity and order, but may struggle with self-criticism. Understanding these types can add depth to your characters. For example, a Type 4, the individualist, might be driven by a desire to be unique and understood, but could also struggle with feelings of envy and inadequacy. By understanding these core motivations, you can predict how your characters will react in different situations, making them more consistent and believable. Let's put this into practice with an example. Suppose Emily is an INFJ and a Type 2, the helper. She's empathetic, caring, and often puts others before herself. However, she might struggle with feeling unappreciated and fear being taken for granted. These traits will influence her interactions, her internal conflicts, and her growth throughout your story. Mapping out your character's personality using MBTI and the Enneagram helps create a consistent and compelling journey. For instance, Emily's INFJ traits might lead her to overthink her relationships, while her Type 2 traits push her to seek validation through helping others. This combination can create rich, layered characters that feel real and relatable. Remember, compelling characters are the ones that stay with readers long after they've turned the last page. They are the heartbeats of your story, bringing it to life. A well-rounded character has a mix of strengths and weaknesses, virtues and flaws. Think about what drives your characters, what their fears are, and what they aspire to achieve. This will add depth and make them relatable. Let's discuss appearance. While it's important to have a mental image of your characters, avoid overloading your readers with too much physical description at once. Instead, sprinkle in details naturally through the narrative. For example, instead of saying, "She had blue eyes and blonde hair," you might write, "Her blue eyes sparkled with mischief as she tossed her blonde hair over her shoulder." This way, the details are woven seamlessly into the story. Interaction is key. Show your characters through their actions, dialogue, and how they interact with others. This not only reveals their personality, but also advances your plot. For instance, how does Emily react when she runs into her old flame? Does she try to act indifferent, or does she find herself falling back into old patterns? Practice writing dialogues that reflect your character's unique voice. It should be distinct enough that readers can tell who's speaking even without dialogue tags. For instance, Jack might say, "I don't have time for this," while Emily might respond with, "But you promised." This contrast in dialogue style highlights her different personalities and priorities. Lastly, let's touch on growth. A compelling character should evolve over the course of your story. This growth could be in their beliefs, attitudes, or relationships. Show this development through pivotal moments and challenges that push them out of their comfort zone. For example, Emily might start off cynical about love, but gradually learns to open her heart again through her interactions with Jack. Map out your character's arc. How do they start, what challenges do they face, and where do they end up? This will give your story a satisfying emotional journey and ensure that your characters feel real and dynamic. Remember, compelling characters are the ones that stay with readers long after they've turned the last page. They are the heartbeats of your story, bringing it to life. I hope these tips help you create characters that your readers will love and root for. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow writers. Thank you for joining me in this episode of the Romance Writing Masterclass on the Writer's Haven. Don't forget to subscribe to the Writer's Haven and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next episode, where we'll be exploring how to build romantic tension. Your support helps us create more content to inspire and guide you. Until then, keep writing and let your characters shine. Remember, this is where stories begin.